Good morning. Today is December 25th, 2022, and another standing up video for obvious reasons. Behind me is the winter wonderland that they sing about for the day. A Merry Christmas to everyone. Obviously, with my condition being a little bit more problematic this year, I'm having a very isolated, very on my own kind of Christmas. I did exchange, at least I got a gift from a very dear friend, a couple of greetings from some dear friends, and that's really all I need to get me through the day. The other thing which I needed, apparently, to get me through the day is the new Jack Ryan season that's just out now on Netflix. Brilliant, an absolutely brilliant distraction for me yesterday and going into today where I finished it up. I will definitely want to rewatch it again. It's that intense that I just want to re-see it. It's a very, very amazing. I don't know. I really enjoyed the series. Apparently, it's coming to an end after the next season. There's talk of a spin-off. I'll give it a shot. A couple of opinions that I have on the show, apart from it being amazing, which it was, is I really liked their combination of the two stories of Sum of All Fears with The Hunt for Red October. The Hunt for Red October was my first, introduction to the Tom Clancy world. Before that, yes, I'm an old man, I was a Ludlum fan. And I really like actually what they've done with that series. What now, a decade past? Although, just a quick aside, my favorite Ludlum story is actually the Hallcroft manuscript. That was my introduction to that world, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. It's actually, if I remember correctly, a 400-pager, 500-page read. And I actually finished it in one day, 24 hours plus, actually. I could not sleep. I was that engaged in the story. But that's that. With the Clancy's Jack Ryan, again, The Hunt for Red October, although I was familiar with the movie, which I absolutely loved, I didn't read it until, it's actually probably one of the last books I was able to read because of my vision, that I was able to read, and that was actually a bit of a one thumb up. It was, well, I guess 2 thumbs up. If I wasn't holding my cane, it would be a 2 thumbs upper. That said, like I was, again, with my review, I not only did, I don't know if I mentioned it, sorry, the Sum of All Fears element of the story was very well done from this guy's point of view, in the sense of, yeah, you picked it up as it was going along, but they adapted it and changed it enough that it was its own thing. I couldn't help watching the series thinking, how are they, Clancy's been dead now for what, a decade, and they're keeping so true to the character, to the themes, to the spy thriller element, another genre. After film noir, it's spy thriller. And they're keeping, not only keeping to that real well, but they're also engaged. I was absolutely engaged from beginning to end. All the stories, all the characters, even the minor characters. I gotta admit, like I really enjoy characters who appear on screen for 5 minutes, and you're engaged with them, and you want them to succeed or to fail, depending on what kind of character they are and how they fit into the story. Great series. I would highly recommend it to anyone who's interested in the genre and interested in any geopolitics. The one thing I did find interesting was it was written, I think, in 18, or developed in 18, and 1819, if I understand. And then, of course, we had the 3-year break for a certain pandemic that was wreaking havoc. And they started filming it in 21, if I remember correctly. If you know anything about 22, if you're looking at February 22, geopolitics has changed in our world pretty dramatically. This movie was written and in the can on the cusp of the change of geopolitics, which makes it a fascinating take, in the sense of, wow, like things have changed so much. They filmed in 21, so within a year. Actually, if you think about it, if I remember correctly, I think they filmed it in May of 21, and if you know what happened in February of 22, right? So watching a movie where the Russians aren't necessarily the bad guys, there's a sub element that, yes, we got to get the bad guys, but the government itself is workable, or you can work with them, or as Thatcher would say, I can do business with these guys, right? That is no longer the case from my take of today's world. So to me, it was an interesting take on a world that was compared to the world that we live in. And again, what an interesting element of the series is what the rogue element within the Russian military, paramilitary, let's call it, was trying to do compared to what they are doing is a touch on the outlandishness, because it's Clancy, so it's got to be over the top, which is fine, and that it works for the movie, of course. But considering what they did, and of course the satellite state in the focus in the movie is a Czech. I'm not sure. Czechia, Czech Republic. I guess we could use both. For some reason, Czech Republic is what's used in the series, so we'll go with that. I hear more people calling it Czechia, but that's just me. We'll call it Czech Republic. It's interesting how the Czech Republic is the satellite and the focus in the movie, where, of course, it turns out that it's Ukraine in real life. Would have been interesting to see, to imagine if they would have had, they probably couldn't pull it off, to tell the truth, because it works with Czechia, Czech Republic. Ukraine, they might have had to dub it, or redub it. The locales are fantastic. It was nice to see some of the landmarks which I had seen when I was in Europe, the Budapest scenes, the Vienna scenes. Nice. It was really nice to see. One quick aside, I'm not really too sure about this. From everything that I've seen in the Kremlin, of course, if you watch any of the coming and goings of what's going on over there, it has nothing to do. My point is, the depiction of the Kremlin in the show with oak paneling does not strike me as how I imagine, at least the current the current residents of the Kremlin, with their Baroque-inspired settings. If you look at stuff out of Russia, mind you, those are the ceremonial rooms that I'm used to seeing, and maybe the war room might have oak paneling. I somehow, in the modern world, I can't see it, but it worked for the movie to a degree, although I will, if there's a criticism, and it's not a real criticism because it doesn't really matter, it worked. The show, again, 10 out of 10, maybe 9, if I'm using this as a point, which it isn't, but I would have imagined that the war room might have been less small. At least the current, I keep wanting to say occupier, the current residents and current person using said war room would, I think, have broader, less browns, more whites and golds. That's just me. Anyways, it's gotten me through the Christmas, which is nice. I'm still dealing with what I'm dealing with. I thought it was better this morning. Turns out it wasn't. It was just the cycle is doing its thing. And so I still can't sit, which is it's one of the reasons why I've taken a pass on any Christmas gatherings, whatnot. But it's okay. I'm still hoping that it'll run its course before the new year. I've still got another week. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, I just wanted to quickly touch base, give you guys the Christmas greetings, Merry Christmas, and give you guys a suggestion for if you want to kill some time, you got some time to kill, watch the show. It's very good. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. That's what's going on behind the patch. Have yourself a great Christmas.